What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I had to bring this to you guys. T.I. Has spoken out on the turmoil in Ferguson. He's saying, quote, America has created a monster. One of the reasons why I also wanted to bring this to you guys because I'm very critical of hip-hop and hip-hop rappers and stuff. All right. And especially in times of turmoil and stuff that has affected our community over the decades, you never hear their ass speak out about shit at all. But I will tell you this, even though I was never a fan of T.I.'s, I mean, I didn't hate him, I just wasn't a fan, I didn't really know his music, and I wasn't just whatever. But when he came out of jail that first time and he did that interview, Monique interviewed him on her show. That's the first time I ever got a chance to see him speak and sit down, and I was like, oh, that's him? And he really earned my respect in that one interview. And since that, I always seek out anything where he's going to be talking or has anything to say, because to me, he is an old soul. You know, there's some kind of wisdom that comes from him that I really respect and admire and appreciate so much. You know what I mean? And I can also tell you that it takes a lot for any of these people to speak out because a lot of times they're under the absolute control of their agents and their record companies and stuff like that. That's the same with our NBA players and professional athletes. You never see them speak out on anything because they're all being absolutely controlled by these white devils. I'm telling you. So T.I. has earned my respect, and I'm so pleased. Now Talib Kweli has been down there. If you guys are watching and following the news, Talib Kweli, I'm appreciating that brother because he's down there and he's speaking without restriction. And that's what you can't be politically correct and nice and all that stuff. You guys always hear me say in my videos, I'm not interested in being nice when I'm speaking the truth. I make no apology for truth. I don't. I don't make apology for my delivery of truth or the truth itself. I don't. And I don't care whose feelings it hurts or any of that stuff, because that's the problem with our whole society. People not speaking the truth and not speaking up and all that kind of thing, you know. And there's a quote from Dr. King, but he was actually quoting Dante, and the quote goes like this: the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in a time of moral crisis maintain their neutrality. I love that quote. I love it. Anyways, so this is the thing with T.I. now. It says, since the news of unarmed black teenager Michael Brown shooting, blah, 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 and while many public figures have voiced their personal opinions, rapper T.I. has also decided to express his thoughts and penning an open letter. All right? Though the self-proclaimed king of the South maintained that he does not support the negative response and actions of the shooting, he said he holds America responsible for the turmoil in the St. Louis suburb. And this is his open letter here. And I love it, you guys. It says, look at us. America has created a monster. The result of ignoring and mishandling an already fragile spirited, recently enslaved, presently oppressed, race and generation of people. Look at us. We're the monster that now refuses to be dismissed, overlooked, and ignored. We were brought to this place unaware of our own cultures, religions, and traditions thereof. We created our own. Now look at us. For years, we've been crying out for the nation to address the substandard education system and disparaging treatment of our citizens in communities across America. Our people have had an increasing lack of opportunity for generations. There have been homes broken, lives shattered, and futures lost on your watch, unanswered. Look at us. How long can you expect a nation, a race, a generation of people to be blatantly disrespected, spoken to, and treated with arrogant tones and insignificance? Our fathers, uncles, brothers, and role models were killed and imprisoned more often than educated. Now look at us. Our friends and relatives murdered and cast aside without thought, as though your human life was more valuable than ours. How long can that go on without consequence? Now look at us. How long can you continue to pass the buck and make excuses of why you can't do today what should have been done yesteryear. Although I do not, capital letters, support the negative response and actions of my people in light of this tragedy, I will not, capital letters, condone your lack of effort to show any urgency to improve the treatment of our people, nor the living conditions in our communities. Your refusal to address these life-altering issues makes events such as these seem inevitable. Although I am too at fault to a degree, and I admit that I may not have all the answers, I do have a fun fact for you. Insanity is going about things the same way, expecting a different result. You want a different result? You must take different actions. You must take different actions. What else do you expect? Look at us. That's your boy T.I. I'm telling you, he's earned my respect. He's earned my respect. Very well said. Very well said. And that's straight through the butter. Damn it, here's the truth. Boom, there it is. There it is. There it is. So I appreciate the brother once again for speaking out, you guys. Really. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's said that, you know, it's one thing to say something, but psychiatrists and psychologists and all that stuff tell you somebody really means something when you take the time to put pen to paper. All right? It's one thing to say it just out of your mouth, but when you take the time to write down something, that means you mean it. It's the same way in this country, that it's enough that they brought us to these shores and declared us as animals, but then they wrote in their Constitution, in the 13th Amendment, that a black man is 3/5 of a human being. That means they mean that. They mean it. They mean it. And in the words of Dr. Maya Angelou, when a person tells you who they are, believe them the first time. Believe them. When a person shows you who they are, believe them the first time. All right, you guys, this is the Jedi. I hope you will share this, because as you can see, this is very important. And especially, I'm hoping that something like this gets out to the hip-hop generation. So make sure this video gets around to some of the young ones that they're not going to read the Huffington Post. They're listening to a rap CD. Or maybe they're even listening to T.I.'s music, but they won't know that he said this. All right, share the video, you guys.